Welcome to my March book haul. I really didn't think I was going to have that many for this month. And then things just went wrong, and I magically ended up with like 40 books this month. You might notice if you watched last month's video that this has changed a little bit. I've rearranged, and that's because I have 5 new Empyrean series books. We're going to start off with those as usual. That way, if you want to skip them, you can. I'll have what time to jump to. But that's what these gaps are here. This one, and this one. So they're all special editions. 2 of which I knew I was getting, I think, at the start of the month. 3 of them, no clue. Just happened upon them. So we've got Onyx Storm. This is the German special edition. Kind of hard to see. There you can see it. It looks just the same as the other special editions. Like it matches. So you've got like the dragon eye. And then on the inside, it's got the blue scale map. Basically the same design, I believe, like the same color scheme and everything as the Target exclusive one. I know a lot of people were like disappointed they couldn't get like the full color map for the Target exclusive, but honestly, it's not really like super full color. It's kind of like a blue scale, grayscale kind of a thing. Then it's got some key information here because at this point in the story, we kind of need some reminders of certain people and who their dragons are and what their signets are. And then the back is same map, which I mean is just the same Onyx Storm map, but obviously in German, in case I didn't already say that. And then the full color of Viscayas. But then pretty sprayed edges. And so this goes with this set right here, these 2. Those are Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and then this is the Onyx Storm that matches. And what I like about it is when this is actually on the shelf, you can see this one is in the middle, the dragon is. And so you got at the top, second position, and then this is the third. And there's room for 5 dragons, and there's going to be 5 books. So I'm really sincerely hoping they continue, and the 4th book has a dragon here and the 5th on the bottom, because then it creates like a nice diagonal line on the shelf. If they don't do that, there is part of me that will be very annoyed. But yeah, so that's the standard special edition, which I realize does not make sense. But this is the version that's like from the publisher in Germany. So like this was the version that you could like go to the store and buy when they were available. This one is from, I still don't know how to pronounce the name. I don't know. It's book box is what it translates to in English. Not to be confused with like bookish box or big book box, which are 2 different things. Which I did actually order from Big Book Box, which is in India, I believe. I ordered their special editions, but they're not going to come out until like June. So I won't have those for a little while. But this one goes with these 2. So this is a special German special edition that like you couldn't get in stores. You had to buy it like from this particular licensed seller who, you know, they design these and have them printed and everything. So the picture is kind of hard to see in the image, but if I'm being completely honest, these designs, these here for the Fourth Wing Iron Flame, they're not like the crispest, I don't know, like most clear, vibrant images. Like they're a little dull. The images are like you can't really see like a lot of specific details in them. Not like you can with some of these other sprayed edges where like the colors are super vibrant and like you can see every little detail. These are like they almost look a little faded. And all 3 books are that way, but they're still really cool. And I'm a collector of Empyrean series books. So inside the book is exactly the same though. So I mean they all just get kind of the same version and do their own thing on the sprayed edges. Nothing else is different besides the edges. Okay, so right now I've completed both of my German sets, you know, until we get the 4th book. This next one, I ordered the full set. I actually found it on US Amazon, which I was just kind of, I don't know how I found, I don't know how I happened upon it. I think I was getting something else and it was just like recommended to me at the bottom of the page. And it had sprayed edges and it was on the US Amazon and it said it was going to ship in, like I would have it within like 2 weeks or something. And I was really worried that it wasn't going to be real or that I'd get the books and they wouldn't actually have sprayed edges. But no, pulled through. And I even like looked at videos online of people who bought these books like in store in the country they're from, and they match exactly. They seem like they're the real deal. So that is the Brazilian special editions. So they are hardback, no dust jacket. The design's right on the thing. They do have sprayed edges. And again, this cannot, like they're the same. You can see there's my, if I can do this right, there's my 1/4 wing with the sprayed edges. So you can see it's the same design, but it can't be confused with it because the dragons are much smaller. You can see how much like white space there is, or not, I mean white space, but how much black there is. The dragons just aren't as big. So the design's on a much smaller scale. What is cool about these is they came with, the first two anyways, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame came with a bookmark. And then they came with, which I thought this was freaking amazing. The map is not in the book. The map is like a 4-page fold out map that is actually like really pretty good quality. Like you can read everything. You can see all the details you're supposed to see. Like it's not a cheap little like printout thing. I mean, it's just on regular paper. But like the print of it, the print quality is not, they didn't cheap out on it, which I appreciate. Like some of these special editions I have, you can't even hardly read the text on the map because the print quality is so terrible. And then here's in papers for it. And then it does have a ribbon. Let me just double check. It actually does have the map inside. So not only do you get the map inside, but you get like the fold out map. So that was pretty cool. And then we have Iron Flame. So again, this is all the same set. So it's all the Brazilian special editions. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. This one does have dragons top and bottom. Now this is the same design as they used for Fourth Wing. So you can see here, it's the same design for the dragons. I'm assuming because US didn't put dragons on Fourth Wing. So it just had to reuse the design on Iron Flame. So it had to reuse the design. So there's the bookmark. And this one did come with a map. So, and then here's in pages. Which that's kind of, there we go. You can see it a little bit there. Gets a little blurry sometimes with my camera and all the lights on it. So yeah. And then of course, Onyx Flame. Onyx Flame. Jesus Christ. Onyx Storm. That's what I get for trying to do 2 things at once. This one does not have a map. It does not have a bookmark. Didn't come with either of those things. The edges are the same. You can see there. If I can do this right. The same design as the US Deluxe Onyx Storm, but on a much smaller scale again. You can see how much smaller they are compared to the actual book, or the US version. There's the in paper for it, which this is my favorite one because I actually included like the design in the background instead of it just being a solid color. So yeah. All right, those are my Empyrean series books. I'm going to put these back on my shelf, and then we'll get to the 2 stacks of non-Empyrean books. Okay, so getting into the other books now. This one's a bit of a nostalgia, but honestly, I'm not going to apologize for loving this book because I just do. And that's The Notebook. This was the first, actually, I think it's the only book I've read in one sitting. Yeah, I was back in, I don't know, high school, college, something like that. Sat down to read it one night and then didn't stop until morning when I finished it. And I was a sobbing mess and I loved it. And I've been looking for it in hardback for a few months now. I mean, I know I could just buy it, but I'm cheap. I'm not cheap. I just have a book habit, which gets very expensive and I can't afford for them all to be new books. And so I've just been looking at half price books for months now. Every single one that I go to, which there's 4 in my city. And I make the rounds probably at least once a month. I go to the one by my house multiple times a month. And they finally had a hardback of The Notebook. So, this one, The Cellar by Natasha Preston, which I just realized it says like AKA Wattpad sensation Natasha Preston. So I hope the book is good. I'm not really a big fan fiction person. But it was on clearance and the description sounded pretty interesting. So I figured I would give it a shot. I mean, I think it is like YA, but it seems to have like a darker tone to it. Like it's, some girls basically get kidnapped and it's about them like trying to survive it or something. So this one, Leave Me Behind, was March. Yeah, it was the March probably smut book. And I am a member. And I was originally going to pass on this book because I think it has like a military element to it. And I don't really do like military, like romances, like kind of like traditional. Obviously, like technically the Empyrean series is all at a war college. Like it's all military. But like normal, non-fantasy military. But then I don't know, they put out the artwork and I was like, yeah, no, I need to have that. So I actually originally skipped it and then messaged and was like, hey, I just saw the artwork. Can I get put back on that? And they added me back on. So, then we have These Violent Delights. I have so many books by her now. And I haven't read a single one. I just keep getting them because I think I'm going to like them and like they sound interesting and I have them on my TBR. I just never have gotten around to actually reading any. So if you've read any of her books, let me know if they're good because I keep buying them. I think there's another one in here. This one was definitely like an impulse clearance buy at Half Price Books. A Murder at Balmoral. I love Scotland. I love Edinburgh. I love like cheesy romance books. And I've never read like a Christmas romance. Not really my thing usually. I love cheesy Christmas movies, but like as far as reading a book, but I think this was only like $2 or $3, so I just had to get it. And then this one I see recommended everywhere, and it was at Half Price Books, so I grabbed it while I could get it for, just a few bucks. I don't really know much about this actually. I just know that like people recommend it like crazy. It's on everybody's list to read. Like when they're recommending books for people to read. But I don't know why people love it so much. So if you love it, let me know. Let me know if I need to bump that up on the TBR. I think in my previous, let me make sure. No, that's actually in this one. I'm going to save that book because it goes with another one in this other stack on my other side, which you might have just saw it. So in my previous video, in February's video, I had mentioned that I had a book that I was going to get from Book Outlet and it didn't quite make the cut because I usually only spend like just enough to get the free shipping. And I had this book in my cart and I put it back and decided not to. And then just like a week later, I was at a thrift store actually, and I found the book for like $1.99. And that was Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. And I had talked about how like thought I was going to put it pretty high up on my TBR. Because it takes place in Edinburgh and it's got like body snatching and a lot of interesting elements to it. And I did. I have started reading it. I'm only a few chapters in, but I'm enjoying it so far. So when I saw that Book Outlet had Immortality, which is the follow-up, the sequel, I went ahead and got it because I have a feeling I'm going to want to read it. So I might as well get it, at a place where it's cheap and I don't have to buy it new. I didn't the first time because I don't think I knew, but they put these cool designs. So the first one is a heart, and the cover looks like the dress looks like her heart, and this one is a brain. And the first one's called Anatomy. She wants to be a doctor, so she's like has to learn about anatomy, but it's at a time when like women in the medical field. It's like during a plague time. Anyways, I appreciate the effort that goes into the cover design and embossing on the actual book itself. And the story's been interesting so far, so that's where we're at. This one was also in the clearance section, and the cover is gorgeous. This doesn't do it justice, but it sounded really interesting. It's like ghosts, and I like ghosts, so why not? Especially if it's only like $3. This came from Book Outlet. I want to say it was only like 15 or 16 bucks. And it is the box set, as you can see, Stolen Heir and Prisoner's Throne. And it came wrapped in plastic still. So it's like new. So kind of can't beat that. And then what did I tell you? I had more. I have several more actually, because I forgot that this was her too. I haven't read any of this series. I don't even know the order for this series. I just keep finding the books and grabbing them, and eventually I'll have them all because that's what I do. I buy books out of order as I find them, and then eventually I have the set, and then maybe I'll read them. So I have Foul Heart Huntsman. None in there. But I have over here in this stack Foul Lady Fortune. And then Last Violent Call. I think this is part of the series. Maybe it looks like it is. It's the same sort of design. But this looks like it's like a novella. Like it's pretty thin. So again, and I have Immortal Longings somewhere. Maybe I actually took it. It used to be on this shelf, but I don't think it is anymore. It's somewhere. Okay, so this one was another Book Outlet one. Again, just to beat the order minimum to get free shipping, but it seemed interesting. That's what I do. Like I find these books and then I'll just like put them in my, I'll heart them as a favorite or whatever. And then the next time I place an order and I need to like fill up my cart to get the free shipping, I'll just pull from that list whatever's still available and in stock. Because I always inevitably need like 2 or 3 books to meet the free shipping requirement or the minimum. And so I'll do that. So I grabbed this one, the sticker, which is annoying. I don't know. I must not have tried to take this one off, but Target stickers are so hit and miss. Still haven't tried the blow dryer trick. But the bad ones is what this is. Melissa Albert. Yeah. This one, I think I also got from from Book Outlet. This is the first time I've gotten a book that's actually been like damaged, but it's fine because I already have it. I forgot that I have it. And that would be Heavenbreaker. So apparently I just actually really want to read this book because you see this sprayed edge design? Does it look an awful lot like this one right here? Yeah. But when I got it, the cover is like ripped. This is like I said, the first time I've ever gotten a book from there that's been like truly damaged. But it's fine because it's just going to go to half price books. So whatever. And then for this next one, have I read Belladonna by Adeline? I don't know how you say her name. Grace? No. Do I own Belladonna? No. Did I buy Foxglove and Wisteria? Obviously. This is what I do. They had them both on Book Outlet. So why not? Yeah. So I got Foxglove, which is book 2, I believe, and Wisteria, which is book 3, with Belladonna being book 1. So I will keep an eye out for that one somewhere where I don't have to pay for it full price. And then maybe I'll read that series. Speaking of Fatebreaker, I already have multiple other books in the Realmbreaker series. I don't know how many there are. I have at least 2, I believe. I have Bladebreaker. Actually, I don't know what I have. Maybe this is the second one. I don't have the first book in the series because, again, I just get them as I find them. This was Book Outlet. So, yeah. Never read a book by her, but I have, I think, all of her Red Queen series. I believe it's all of it. And then most of that series. This was another Book Outlet, like needed to meet the order minimum. It's actually super pretty in person. Camera doesn't do it justice, but Girl Serpent Thorn, Melissa Bashardoust. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. That's why I don't usually tend to say the author's names. But yeah, it was just another one that sounded interesting. It's pretty short. This should be a fairly easy read. And then these two, which were closest to being done, like 10 left, I think, something like that. These next two were half price books in one of the stores. And this is kind of what drives me crazy about half price books is like each one's different. They're laid out differently. They have different sections, whatever. But one of the 4 stores in my city in the YA section, which, yes, I do read YA. Like, I fucking love Hunger Games. Those stories can be really damn good sometimes. You can find good gems that are not super childish. But in the YA section, they had this like little shelf or like little bookcase. And one shelf of it was like signed or special edition books. And they were all like, I don't know that one of them was more than like 25 or 30 bucks. But some of them were like 12 bucks, 15 bucks. So I think one of these was 20 and I think one was like 13 or something that I got. So here's The Darkening, Sunyamara, which again, this is, I wish you could see what it actually looks like in person because it is gorgeous. Sprayed edges just on the side, not all the way around. And then there's the back. And then there's that. Nothing on the back. In paper. And then it does have like the author's marker signature. You can't super tell in person or in the video, but in person you can tell like it's really on there with like a real marker or a Sharpie, probably a gold one. And there's the papers in the back. So yeah, again. And again, I said I don't like military stuff. That tends to be what I gravitate towards. But in fantasy, it's fine. So a fierce revolutionary, a desperate prince, together they will face the storm or be swept away. Which is like, okay, that could be about a fuck ton of books. But the actual description for it sounded interesting and it's beautiful and sprayed edges. So it'll look good on the shelf. And it's signed. And it wasn't very expensive. So. And it's also a book by a woman of color, which I do try to read. So then here's the next one that I got from that shelf. The Court of Miracles. Liberty Family Treachery is what it says. Kester Grant is who it's by. Again, this is another one that the camera is not going to do it justice. It honestly looks kind of like dirty in the camera. But it's really pretty in person. I think this one, if I remember right, does it take place in Paris? Yeah, it takes place in Paris, which is one of my all-time favorite cities. You can see it's signed by the author. It's got some in pages, a design on there. The book itself is almost just as pretty as the cover. So this is Sleep Eternal, nothing on the back. But yeah. And then just those on the back. But yeah, just another thing, signed book. That's gorgeous. It technically has sprayed edges, but they're just solid black. So like, does that even count? It's going to just make it look like there's not a book. It's going to make it look like there's a hole on my bookshelf, especially when that bookshelf gets painted black while I'm on vacation next week. And then it also came with this, which this is actually really pretty cool. So this is just kind of like poster of the cover. But then this, it's printed. Like it's not, it was originally hand rented, but it's a reprint. But this is like a big long letter from the author where like you can tell like They doodled all kinds of stuff. And so it was really cool to find this as like a little extra surprise, and really cool to read. Okay, so continuing the theme of I just buy random books in a series out of order as I find them. We have The Brothers Hawthorne from Book Outlet. I have gotten the Final Gambit, and I did get Inheritance Games, but I got Inheritance Games as a paperback and forgot. I thought it was hardback, so I bought the other two in hardback, and I can't have a mismatch series. So and I prefer hardback. So I will be eventually getting rid of my paperback Inheritance Games and getting a hardback whenever I find it. This one is Bookish Box Special Edition of Her Villains by Jade Presley. There's the back. This has a reversible dust jacket. And then here's what the actual book looks like. And I honestly kind of forgot what this book is about. I mean, I obviously read it when I ordered it. It does have like the gold edges, which it looks like it has. When it's not in direct light, it almost looks like it has a pattern to it, but it doesn't. It's definitely just, no, it does. But there we go. There we go. Now you can see it. So there you can't see. There you can. I definitely just dropped it on the floor, and it's going to be hard to reach. Actually, it's going to be basically impossible to reach without moving shit because I have an L-shaped desk, and it fell like in the corner, and like I'd have to move this couch and move my footrest and everything to get to it. So we're just going to come back to it later. Sorry, I couldn't show you what the other end papers were, and I believe it's signed as well. I think Bookish Box stuff signed when you get from them. I don't know. I just recently joined a few months ago. So this is at the end of March, and I just joined in January, and they're so behind that I haven't gotten any of my actual monthly books yet. I think they still have to ship out December, and then I'll start getting my books. So it'll be like another month or two, I think, till I get my first bit of books from them. But whatever, I knew that going in. I knew it going in. That one was like a special edition. That wasn't part of like a monthly box. So that was when I could just like buy outright, and those are much faster. Those usually only take a few weeks, I think, to get. So again, carrying along with my theme of just buying books randomly as I find them, and I don't know how many are in the series. I don't know what order. I got these from Book Outlet. So Brutal Prince, Bloody Heart, and Stolen Heir. Which did really confuse me because I bought these at like the same time that I placed my book out order. And I was like, wait a minute, Stolen Heir, I just bought that. One's Sophie Lark, one's Holly Black. So yeah. And these, I think, were in like the erotic section. I think they are. I don't know. It doesn't say who the publishing house is, because that can sometimes tell you. And then I got this one at Half Price Books, just passing by. Saw it on the shelf. It caught my eye. I have a fascination with like serial killer stories, like real serial, like true crime stuff. And then, yeah, if you're going to put serial killer stuff in a fiction book, I'm going to read it as well. And this one it's like a game. Not like a game, like a competition, I think, amongst like serial killers. They have to compete against each other. I'm not really sure. It sounded interesting. I read the description a couple weeks ago, but and it sounds like there's going to be like some unexpected twists in it. So I don't know. Haven't heard a thing about it. Just caught my eye. It's about serial killers. Why not? This one, let me know what you think without any spoilers. I am obviously a fan of Rebecca Yaros's Empyrean series, but I have never read any of her contemporary romance, which is what she started with and still does. She rotates between Empyrean and contemporary, which means that we just got an Empyrean book 2 months ago. So it's going to be a little while before we get the next book because she's going to write a contemporary first and then get back to the Empyrean series. All of her, I think. I'm not sure. I can't say all, but from my understanding, I believe all of her contemporary novels are all military like romances because she is a military spouse. Like that's what she knows. It's what she started writing. And she likes to write that in that genre. I'm not a military spouse. I don't have any connection with that. And it's just not like, I don't really generally read military romance. I don't read sports romance. Those just aren't things that I have experience with. And, you know, or really kind of any interest in reading about. But everybody has been talking about The Last Letter. And I found it at Half Price Books, which they don't usually have hardly any Rebecca Yarros books. And everybody has just like talked about this book in particular of hers and just how much it made them cry and how much it like devastated them and ripped their heart out, which I do like. I want that in a book. So I figured if I'm ever going to read one of her contemporaries, it was going to be this one. So I found it and we're going to give it a shot at some point. I might actually take this down. In my previous video, I mentioned my friend KG. We also call her Cage, who lives in Louisville. She lives like 2 hours away from me. She reads more contemporary stuff. And like that contemporary romance and like thrillers, more her vibe, whereas I'm more like fantasy and dark romance. But anyways, this might be one I might have her read first, and then she'll tell me if she thinks I'll like it, because she is always really spot on. And then we'll go from there. So speaking of Victoria Aveyard, I think that's how you say her name, and like the Red Queen series, I did find this one, Cruel Crown, which I believe are some short stories as like some, little extra stories for Red Queen, which again, I haven't read, but I think I have all of the series of. This one I found like on a little clearance cart at Half Price Books. And I do movie and TV show reactions here on YouTube as well. Brittany Binges TV and Brittany Binges Movies. And I have like a community that I built up specifically around like the TV reactions, because that's what I started doing. The movies are more recent, at least here on YouTube. And I have one community member. We have like a Discord community and all that, and hang out together on Zoom and stuff. I have one community member who is like obsessed with Wizard of Oz. He talks about it all the time. And so when I saw this at the store, I literally just picked it up so I could take a picture for him. And that was Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I literally just picked it up because I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to take a picture of this and send it to Jamie. And then I read the description of it because I was like, wait a minute, what is this even like? This is an intriguing title. And so I read the description and it kind of sounded interesting. It was only like $3. So we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, basically the whole thing is like Dorothy ends up becoming the villain, and the heroine of the story has to take her out. So, okay, we'll see how it goes. This next one is Shadows of Pearl by JL. I do have, as you can see there, House of, I think it's Marian is how you say it. And this is just a sequel to that one. And I haven't read it yet. I haven't read the first one, but the second one was on Book Outlet, so why not? And this one, I'm definitely probably going to be keeping the cover off of it because the actual book itself is gorgeous. Like I just mentioned going to be painting in here while I'm gone. I'm going to be on vacation, and my husband's going to paint my office for me. And my office has like actually technically it's the primary bedroom of the house, but for reasons, it's my office. And it has like a bathroom that's like open. There's no door to the bathroom. That's one of the reasons it's my office instead of our primary bedroom, because we like privacy when we're in the bathroom. So anyways, I want to wallpaper a wall and I cannot find the wallpaper that I want. Like I want the aesthetic that I want is like Gothic beauty. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be beautiful and pretty, but I want it to have like a Gothic feel. And I wish I could take this book in and be like, give me this wallpaper, maybe with a little less color, a little more gray, a little more black. But there's some black flowers in here. It's so pretty in person. is basically what I'm trying to say. And I just love it. It does have a little bit of decoration on the end pages too, which I don't think House of Marion has that. I don't know. Okay, so that's it. Those are the books in March. That's a lot. I don't anticipate having that many in April. We'll see. It's not the plan, but it's never the plan. So yeah. So that's where we're at with the books that I have. The books that I'm currently reading, I did just start Throne of Glass on Audible. I think I have about 3 hours left in Throne of Glass. I've decided to do it in like the romantic order. I'll put the image up here. It's not my image. If you know who I should credit, please let me know. But it's like the recommended reading order. You do like the romantic one, which is basically where Assassin's Blade is later in the story. So I'm doing that, and then I'll do the tandem read for Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn or something, I think is what those books are. Anyway, again, the order will be here. So I started that. I finished my reread of As Those Above Fall, which was I talked about in the last one. I am wrapping up. I'm in the epilogue now. I just fell asleep. I couldn't read another word last night for Satan's Affair, H.D. Carlton. I'm starting Hollow Kingdom because, as I mentioned in my previous video, myself and my two best friends have this little like informal book club where we're all just kind of like picking books to each read together. Like we're rotating like who chooses what. I had them do Butcher and Blackbird, and then they continued with the other two books in the trilogy because they enjoyed them. One of the other friends had us do The Housemaid, which I read the second book in that series because I enjoyed The Housemaid, did not enjoy the second one as much, by Frida McFadden. And then the third friend who's very different. We're all actually very different from each other. She's having us go through Hollow Kingdom, which is like, I think it's like post-apocalyptic story told from the POV of a bird. I don't know, y'all. She read my books. I'm going to read hers. I just got it today to start it this week, as soon as I finish Throne of Glass. And then Anatomy. That's the other one I'm reading. So that's what we're going through right now. Yeah, just talk to me in the comments. What are you reading right now? What are you excited to start soon? What books have you gotten recently? Which one of these that I went through have you read? Let me know your spoiler-free thoughts. Just want to hear about it.